Let's see if we got the notification locked in.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. I don't think YouTube loving you right now.
Yeah, they ain't
Oh,
showing your
oh
boy no
nah,
love.
yeah. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
they
about to
they
say,
they
I
sent me. Yeah, they
yeah,
sent me
yeah.
a
There we
notification.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Got
SJ
notifications.
talking
Okay.
about he not getting the notifications. That's because he ain't tuned in. That's why he ain't hit that bell for me, man.
Where the love at?
Yeah, he ain't hit that bell. Yeah, your mic a little hot though. What up, MP? MP, what you doing right now? Cause I might chime you in on this conversation since you a content creator and you understand the difficulties of staying consistent. Cause it's hard out here trying to drop these videos. So what you doing right now, man? I'll throw you in on this chat for a couple minutes just to give your thoughts on the struggles.
Yeah, how my mic sound?
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay, we back. Oh, I kind of like that right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's
what up,
going
YouTube
on?
world? Talk
MP.
Life in the building, T Mid in the building, Hassan, what up, my man? So we just coming through. We just want to talk about, we talk about we mention it a lot, man, on a lot of our videos, just about, the struggles of creating content, being consistent and all that kind of stuff. But I thought I would just do a video where we specifically just talk about, what it takes to be consistent, some of the struggles that uh we go through trying to stay consistent. T Mid stay a lot more consistent than I do, but uh we just want to talk about that. But before we talk about that, we want to touch on the video that I dropped yesterday, just talking about, the tips to have better YouTube videos. MP, you don't need to set nothing up, man. You could tap in from your phone, bro. Yeah, you can tap in right
Yeah.
from your phone.
Tell them no excuses.
Yeah, no excuses. Tap in from the phone, my man. Um, yeah. So yesterday I dropped a video, 10 tips on how to make better YouTube videos, and that's something that me and Mid we had already talked about for a couple weeks, but it really was something that I've just thought about for a long time because when I'm watching videos, especially being a content creator myself, when I watch videos, I just kind of pick up on things like well, to even take a bigger step back. That was kind of really one of the drivers of why I made my channel was because not only did I want to give back, but sometimes there was videos that I would watch, but there was just stuff that I just didn't really like, from my own personal perspective. And so I thought, okay, I'll put my own videos out and address those things, right? And so, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff. Like if I'm watching TV, I'm
Yeah.
normally watching YouTube. That's about all I consume. So, sometimes I just, I see things in videos that there's things that people could do that would make the video better and keep people engaged more, So since I'm a content creator, I'll be more likely to watch a video all the way through just because I just like to support people's channels. So I'll watch a video all the way through no matter what. But, there's a lot of people out there that aren't content creators, don't care about, supporting the person. And so a lot of those
Hmm.
things that's on my list can make people click off of a video, and it's things that are easily correctable. It's definitely things, everything on that list. I'm pretty sure you can find a video of mine on my channel where I was doing that, So I wasn't coming from a spot of saying I never made those mistakes. Like my earlier videos, bro. Yeah. Yeah. It's there. So, was there anything that either you could think of that wasn't on that list? Or is there or what's your thoughts on the stuff that I had on that list?
Man, I think that list was very detailed, straight to the point, like you said, being concise. So, your video was very concise, straight to the point, and you hit on some things that were very important that I feel like as well, you know. And it's ironic that you made that video because I had something similar in the pipeline, but it was more geared towards vloggers specifically, and then filmmakers. Which you could argue that some YouTubers are filmmakers or YouTubers are filmmakers. So, like some of the things that one thing. Let me say one thing that I kind of thought about was the fact of having like some dynamic footage. Sometimes, sometimes like if, for example, you have like a BTS, you know, getting like those different angles and or just adding a zoom to the footage if you're a one man band trying to switch it up, that can help a lot because I know sometimes like me myself personally, I don't like looking at a video where you just got the camera on the tripod and it just stay right there. Because personally, I hate my videos like that. So
Yeah,
whenever I see that, I'm like, all right, just switch the angle at least or something. Like, I mean, I know you're a one man person, but you can at least change that camera angle every time you change your angle. It
right,
might
right,
be some extra work, but I feel like it adds to the video because it's not just one long video where the camera in the same direction and you shooting in the same spot, things like that.
right, right. So to pause right there, because I'm guilty of that myself. Like sometimes I'll do a video and I'm like, all right, I gotta do the main video. I gotta get this B-roll, or I need to change this camera, this camera angle or whatever. And sometimes I have all intent on doing that. But the problem with it is that, even if you look at, you want to do two camera angles. So let's say I got, one camera right here in front of me, got another camera right here. The problem is when it comes to editing, you know what I'm saying? Like now
Yeah.
I gotta cut all those together and decide, when I want to change to camera B, then come back to camera A. And sometimes like I'll be doing good just to get the video out just with camera A rolling, so it's like if I got to tap in and now I got to be cutting in different stuff, um that makes it tough, man. And then I'll be like, I ain't gonna get this video out if I do that, so I end up just having just that one angle. And yeah, I guess
Yeah, like that's
that's it. But at the same time, I think maybe it depends on what you're talking about, because some stuff, if you just like when you doing your five things video, that's the perfect type
yeah.
of video where you really don't have to be looking at it. I mean, there's you put stuff in there to where if you are looking at it, you getting those visuals which help. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
also a video that you could be at the gym and just have that playing, you know what I'm saying, and just take in that content, so it doesn't even matter. So I think sometimes the content of the video, if it's not really something that needs a lot of visuals, like if you just talking about stuff, yeah, there's gonna be people that would want more visuals. But sometimes I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
like just put this in the background, man. Like you don't gotta watch it. Just
You
listen and
don't
let it
need
play
all of
through.
that. Yeah, I think so like that's a perfect example. I'm not sure. Do you keep all of your footage from like
I
everything
keep
you've ever
zero.
done?
I keep zero footage. The only thing that I keep is the finished product. I keep that. But as far as the
Okay.
actual footage, I don't keep any of that, because, and I mean, man, I know people say storage is cheap, and it is. I agree. But like the video that I dropped yesterday and recording that, because that was a longer video. It was like 20 minutes or something. So it was like 23
Yeah.
minutes of recording. It was 117 gigs, just for that one video.
Mm.
117 gigs. So just imagine. And as I start doing more and more videos, like that's, imagine if every video was 100 gigs, man. Like, In 10
Yeah,
videos, you a
yeah.
terabyte in already, just in 10 videos. Like, so in a month's time, you 2-3 terabytes. I don't even know how you keep all of it, bro. Do you keep full quality? Your video froze
Yeah,
up too,
so
by the way.
oh, it
Yeah,
did?
yeah, you stuck on the video.
How long have I been stuck? Let me
I
see.
don't know. I was looking, I thought you was just sitting still, and then I was like, nah, he ain't even blinking. It's like, hey, blink if you need help. If you need to be rescued,
Oh
blink.
man. Let
All right,
me
you good. Yeah,
oh
you back. You
yeah,
back.
we back now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
don't know
back.
what's going on. All right, but yeah, so I keep all of my videos, and it has been a blessing because when I make those, I always have B-roll to cut to no matter what. Like
Yeah, yeah.
anytime I'm like, oh, I have something about that. And especially when I'm talking about those 5 things, because I have made those mistakes and I can go back to the video where I actually made the mistake to show
Facts.
exactly what I'm talking about. And and from a storytelling perspective, it helps tell the story, but then it also helps add some interest to the video because it breaks it up a little bit. So
Yeah.
that's what I try to kind of do is like break it up a little bit. So it's like, all right, you got this little scene, and then it cut back to me. They feel
Hmm.
like they just had, a good a good a good little cutaway, a nice little break from me, and
Yeah.
seeing something. But yeah, so that was one thing I was gonna ask. And the thing is that all of my video footage is 4K as well, but the files from the Sony aren't as heavy as like what you're saying.
Mm,
Like my files are not that heavy. Like recently, I've been using like all the 5 things videos. I don't know why. I just set up my Nikon and I use the Z7 II to to record those videos. So all those videos are from the Nikon. Those files are heavier than when I use my Sony, which is
hmm.
interesting. So those files, when I get those, I'm like, wow, like I think 5 minutes, like 20 gigs or something like that. I'm like, the
Yeah.
Sony would have been like 5 gigabytes or something. So yeah, I could see from that perspective, like that data would eat up real quick.
Yeah, yeah. So I use the 5D4 to basically record all those videos, and the 5D4 is notoriously heavy on file size because it uses that motion JPEG codec. So I don't know what the size would be if I use like my R5 or my R. It probably would be a lot better. I don't know if it would be 5 gig, but uh, yeah, that definitely is. Sometimes when I'm doing videos, I'm like, yeah, it would be nice if I had footage of stuff already that I could just plug in. Because like the videos where I do the B-roll, the
Yeah,
problem with those is it takes so much time. So basically, the way I typically do those is
exactly.
I'll do the whole video, so I'll do all the talking, and then I literally play back the video and I record B-roll to fit what I was talking about in the video where I want to interject some B-roll. I'll record that after I record the whole video. So by the time I record the whole video, then I gotta do B-roll, and it's just like that's not an efficient way because sometimes I'll do
It's a lot,
something.
right?
I'll talk about something at the beginning of the video, and then some towards the middle or the end. I could have recorded that at the same time that I did the thing at the beginning. So I'm like having to change all this stuff, get all these different angles, get the lighting good, and so I either don't get as much B-roll footage as I want, or the B-roll footage isn't as good as I would want it to be, and how as good as it could be. But I'm just like, I don't have time. Like I gotta still edit this video. It's just it
Yeah.
just feels like too much sometimes, man.
uh, One of the things that I have on my list, because let me make this perfectly clear that I'm still gonna put this video out, but it was ironic that you put out that video. Let me grab this real quick because that's how I normally get my ideas. I'll just be sitting at my computer, and if an idea comes to me, then I just jot it down.
Yeah, yeah. What up, Bree? King
So I
Cole, I
have
appreciate that, my man.
like stickies. So I just have. All right, we gonna do this one. Yeah. So I just got like stickies, and I just kind of jot down my notes for the video, and that's how my concept starts. Which I wanted to share that because it goes back to your main point of having a plan. But
Yep.
one of the things that I learned, because I say this a lot, my channel started from me making vlogs, and with the vlogs I was doing so much more transition, so much more sound effects, because that really matters. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I learned to do with my video from doing vlogs is to learn to shoot to edit. So when I was out in Vegas, I was already doing a certain angle because I already knew how I was going to edit that when I took it back. At first, I used to just shoot everything. And then when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
back, it used to be like, all right, how am I going to put this together? But now I get things specifically because I already know how I'm putting it together.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I don't have that mindset because vlogging is not something that I do ever. And when I try, yeah, I'm never successful. I'm never successful at vlogging, and I think a big part of it is like it's just not my nature. I'm just not really much of a vlogger. I'm not that you got to put your life out there, but I'm such a private person that just when I think about vlogging, I'm just like, nah, I'm not really trying to give people like that view. Like if they want to see it, they could be with me in person, and then you could see it, you know. So yeah, I struggle with that, but um, I do want to put more dynamic content in my videos. It's hard because it takes so much time, and I'm typically on the tail end of like how long I want to wait to put out another video, you know. So like if I drop a video today
Yeah.
and I know I want to drop another video next week, instead of starting to work on that video today or tomorrow, so now I got, 4, 5, 6 days to do it, it'll be a week from today and I'm like, man, I really need to drop this video today. So then, I'm recording it and then I'm like, I don't have time to do all the B-roll and all that stuff. So then I just end up not having it. And I mean, for my videos, since a lot of my videos are more like educational,
Yeah.
they would benefit the most from having, that kind of additional content, because if I'm talking
Yeah.
about something that I'm trying to teach you something, like what's the best thing I could do? Show you. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about it is cool, but if I could show you, that's the best thing to do. But it's like if I'm really trying to get that video out, it's like, man, and then I'm like, I could wait. I could be like, all right, because I'm not too pressed. I try to drop a video every week, but if I don't, I don't. But I know me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I won't. I'll be like, all right, well, let me wait a week, and I'll get all this extra content, and it end up being 2 weeks. I still won't have that content. I still won't have that B-roll. So it just, yeah, it's
You
just that
know,
that part's tough.
the uh, the one thing that I will say, with my process is I have learned how to make content out of anything. So at first, when I first started my channel, I was kind of like scrounging, and I was outside every day, like trying to shoot anything just so that I could have content. But as I progressed, I learned how to reuse stuff to make content, or just think of things on the whim to make content, and that really, really helped because I didn't seem like I was so much in a pinch. So sometimes I've I've have put out videos back to back sometime just because the concept just comes like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can put this together like this, and like I said, I already know how I'm going to edit it in my head, so it just makes it that much easier to put it out. I mean, now it might be out at 9 a.m. my time, or it might be 1 a.m. on the West Coast time, but it still get dropped, and just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: when you drop your videos, when you make these videos, do you feel like every video that you do you feel like, yeah, like I'm happy with this video, like this turned out the way I want, like this is up to my standard? Do you feel that way with every video you drop, or do you do videos sometimes and you just like, this one's a little mediocre, but I'm gonna drop it anyway just because I want to get this video out?
So it's kind of different depending on what it is. Like my BTS videos, um, to be honest, like I know I know what I wish they could be, because I know what they could be if I like had an extra person, because that's how I would want it to be, with more dynamic moving footage. But I understand what I am limited to. So I kind of know like where where I kind of stand in terms of what I'm capable of doing. So most of the time it's like right there between, all right, this is quality and quantity, like enough, but I still reach the point that I need to make in terms of making the video. So I don't think I'm ever like fully satisfied. Now there are just like a few where it's like, oh, this is a banger right here,
Hmm.
and when I had that feeling, it does turn out to be a banger.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's been some too where I didn't think it was anything, but then it ended up being way better.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think I'm the same way. I think there's very few times. I think the last video that I put out that I was just like happy with how it all turned out was when I did that 80B2 versus 8400 video. Like I put a lot of work into that video. Like that video took me a while to get all that B-roll footage, and I had different camera
Yeah.
angles and all that. Like that one, I was happy with that one. That was probably the last video that I put out that I felt like I truly put 100% into it. It's like a lot of the videos, I don't want to say I'm half in it, but it just it's just hard for me to get everything I need to really make the video be like what I envision it to be. Like when I come up with an idea of like what I want to do in the video, like I got all these thoughts in my head, but then, trying to make that materialize that into footage and put it all together, it just doesn't happen most of the time. So um yeah, so to answer King Cole's question, he asked how much time does it take to edit these videos. Obviously, that's that it depends on the video. Like the one that I dropped yesterday, um, that one didn't take me that long. I mean, it took the most amount of time it took was syncing up the audio because I cut the pieces together just to stop the gaps in between. But most of my videos that I do, I record them straight through. So editing them doesn't take that much time usually. It just depends on how much I cut it up. Like if it's a video where I do a lot of cutting it up, and the mistake that I make is I don't sync my audio first. So I typically cut the video first, then I have to sync the audio with all the cut pieces, which is not the right way to do it, and it's not the efficient way to do it. So if I didn't do it that
Look, I
way,
got you right
it would
here,
take
man.
me it would
You
take me
don't have to
less
sync
time.
it. Where's that? There we go, right there.
Is that the
I mean,
Hollyland?
yeah, man. Listen,
Yeah, hey, hey, send it to me, man. I'll test it out for him. Um,
I can send you the plug. They probably send you one.
yeah. So yeah, I would say on average, man, to record my videos, like if it's a video with no B-roll, no added stuff like the one I did yesterday, man, maybe 3-4 hours, to record, edit, sync audio, all that good stuff, maybe 3-4 hours. But yeah, if it's a video that I'm putting the extra footage into,
Hmm.
man, it could take I mean, it could take 3-4 hours just to record all the stuff, 3-4-5 hours just to record all the stuff, you know, and then having to piece all that together. Yeah, it could definitely take a long time, depending on how fancy you
Listen,
want to
that
make it.
that's just like I got this video that I'm working on behind me actually. Let's see if the Nikon can be great. That video that took that took way more time. It has like several components to it. So it's like, and I'm still not done getting everything that I need, but you know, I kind of like work like, all right, I got certain pieces, so let me put that together.
Yeah,
But then, you know, I also experiment with like my content. That's one thing that I think is good. Like, you know, the BTS is cool, but I'm like, let me put out something on a drone. Let me put out something on a vlog. Let me, you know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
everywhere.
Um, man, I saw something about syncing audio. Adobe Procast Girl had a quick, easy way to sync all the audio. Yeah, apparently there's something in Adobe. SJ mentioned it to us, man, so a while ago in our group text, and I still haven't used it. But the problem is just um, I should just sync my audio to the whole clip first, and then when I cut it, it's already synced. I do it the
Yeah.
wrong way myself. Like that's a self inflicted wound myself because I'll take the video, chop it all up, so then I'll have
Oh
30
man, that's
cuts in the
murder right
video.
there.
Yeah, then I got to go in and sync up 30 different pieces of audio. So
$31.
I do it the wrong way. Um, and normally it really is just because I'm usually waiting to the last minute, and I don't want to, like, if I want to sync the audio. Nah, there's no excuse. I don't even know what I was thinking. I just do it the stupid way. That's all there is to it. So yeah, for people that do it smart, syncing audio is not that bad at all. So let's see. I'm gonna do better on this live at staying up on the comments, so that way I don't be leaving y'all hanging. I want y'all to know I see them. Usually I just uh man, I be talking, listening, and then trying to look at the comments and then mention yeah, it's tough. So I swear I don't be ignoring y'all. I be seeing y'all. So I'm a do better. I'm gonna do better. And I
Yeah,
try
pop
to.
them up on
I
the
want.
screen
Yeah,
for
yeah. I want to try to stay up on them too, because sometimes I'll be watching people's lives and I look at where we at in the live, and then I look at where they at in the comments, and I'm like, man, it's gonna be another 15 minutes before they get to this comment. Then the
them. Go
whole
ahead,
thing
say their
done passed
name.
by that point.
Say their name.
Uh,
Say their name.
nah, I was just looking at. I don't even remember whose it was. I was just looking at one the other day, and it was like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a while before they get down there. Uh, but yeah, so anyway, yeah, I mean, it definitely could take a lot of time to do the videos. Um, so I mean, that's one component of really what makes it tough to stay consistent is just the time commitment. It's like I think is it 7 minutes? 7. uh, yeah, I think people think that it doesn't take as much time that it does, and again, it depends on the type of video you're doing. Like if you just doing just a straight talking head, there's nothing extra with it. Yeah, that's pretty quick. Like if I just wanted to do a video where I'm just like I said, the one yesterday really didn't take that long because it was just me talking. And I mean, I had my numbered list, so that way I didn't miss anything. But as far as like everything I said, that's just
So
how I felt.
that list, yeah. So that list, where was that list derived from? That was a pretty detailed list.
Yeah. And when I did the list and when I was making the video, I'm like, there's probably gonna be people that think I'm talking to them, and that isn't it at all. Like I've been watching YouTube for I don't even a decade longer, right? So that's a
Yeah.
culmination of just watching thousands of YouTube videos in my lifetime, and it's just things that when I'm watching those videos, it takes away from the video. And sometimes I'm like, this video could have been so much better if they didn't do, XYZ. So when I was sitting there
Yeah.
thinking of the list, I didn't have anybody in mind. Like, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I watched this video, let me add that to the list. Oh, I'm watching this video, let me add that to the list. Those are things that, I literally have been on my mind for that sort of thing for a long time. And so I just wanted to put it out there just to say, yo, like, if you doing these things in your videos, and I still do some of those things in my videos, like,
Yeah.
there's still things on that list that sometimes I will do in videos today. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't be doing this. Y'all need to get y'all's ish right. Like, nah, I still do some of that stuff too. And I know it too. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna hurt my video a little bit, but it is what it is. I'm gonna put it out anyway. But yeah, it wasn't directed at anybody. It just was, stuff
Friendly
that was on my
fire,
mind. Yeah, friendly fire.
huh? You
You
see
know.
M Jones comment, does anyone pre-plan content for the week, month, get the ideas together and shoot for each week?
Man, I at one point I was trying to do that, but I do not do that now. Do you do that?
So the only time that I did that was when I did Vlogmas. That
Mm,
for sure I had to pre-plan because that was like 25 videos back to back. And I ended up doing like 30 videos just closing out the whole December because I had new videos that just kind of popped up really quick that I was able to do. So I kind of like rolled out the whole December video after video after video. But I definitely started in like late November making the decision because I wanted to make sure I stuck to it if I decided to do it. Because a lot of
yeah,
people say I'm gonna do Vlogmas, and then they get to day 3, and then they stop doing it. So with that, like the end of November, I was like going into December, like first day, all right, what's this video? Second day, and then I mapped it all the way out to the 25 days for Vlogmas. So that's kind of like the only time that I do it. Nowadays, I have so much content that I'll just scroll through the folder and I'll be like, okay, I think I can release this. But what I really do is, the models these days be flaking. So I
yeah,
used to put 3 outfits in one video. Now I only make one video with one outfit, and then I will release another outfit like months later. And that
yeah,
helps me
yeah.
because it lets me like spread out the content and gives me like that extra look of them like further down the line, because a lot of these models I haven't even shot with again, just because they like
Right.
say they'll shoot and then you don't see them again. So
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I man, to speak on doing the multiple videos at a time. I don't know about you, but I personally don't really enjoy the actual recording of the videos. Like, it always feels somewhat like a chore to me. Like, I enjoy helping people, but I
yeah.
would rather do it in person. I don't really enjoy like making these videos, which kind of sounds crazy because it's like, well, why do you got a channel that requires you to make videos? So it doesn't make sense like when I say it out loud, but it's just, sometimes that's just the nature of the game. Like, if you want to help people, you have this platform to be able to help people. If that means you got to make videos, you got to make videos. Like, if I had a team, or if I had someone that recorded me and I didn't have to set everything up myself and do everything myself, I would love that. Like, I
Oh
would
yeah.
probably drop 2-3 videos a week if I had people that was just recording me. So all I had to worry about doing was the stuff. But I don't got it like that. So
Yeah. Oh man, that would be sweet. That sound like Taylor Jackson in Vegas. He's like, oh
yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna get this to the editor.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that makes it real easy because then you basically are just doing the part that you enjoy doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you
Exactly.
got somebody else that's recording it. You got somebody else that's doing the editing. You're doing the part that you like, which is the education part or the photo shoot or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I think my big goal is to get to a point, I don't need like a full-fledged team. I really just need to find just a young creative that I could hire to basically just record this stuff for me, especially like BTS stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm out doing a shoot, I just need to hire somebody to do BTS stuff for me. And I don't mind doing that at all. Just to be able to get that dynamic footage and I don't have to worry about it. So that's something that I'm going to explore. I just got to do the homework on it. So, uh,
Yeah, you got. Yeah,
uh,
yeah, we getting togged into these comments.
yeah. What's the closest uni? Man, I don't even know. Probably UNLV. Probably. That's a good. I don't know if they have any kind of film or photography stuff like that, but that is a great suggestion though. I will definitely look into that 100%. 100% because that's a good tip.
Oh
Um
yeah.
so yeah, so when it comes, obviously Midge, you're more consistent with your videos, which is kind of crazy because you got a full-time job and you do YouTube and you stay more consistent than the person that does photography full time. So what struggles do you face? I know you have a lot of content already, and you keep your
Yeah.
content on deck, but it still requires time to piece it together, figure all that stuff out, go through the whole process. So what do you do to be able to stay consistent with your videos?
So one of the biggest things that used to be a block for me was the fact that it felt like it wasn't getting the numbers that I wanted, right? I'm 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 sitting back, I'm like, okay, this video I put out and these subscribers, like it's not adding up. Like I think I checked and I'm like almost got like 3/4 of a million views, right? But then I have like not even what, maybe 1% of that or whatever. But it just goes to show like over time, I had to like understand that it really is a journey when people say that. Like, and it also made me like respect other creators because it put me in a mindset like they really grind, well, some of them, because some of them got put on by others, so but the
Yeah.
people that really grinded it out, like I respect to the fullest. But besides that, when I first started, because I feel like now I'm at a point where I'm consistent and I have found like my groove, you know. So I don't really struggle in terms of making content or putting content out anymore. Like that used to be my struggle, but I've kind of been doing it for a time now where I've learned how to like overcome that. I think now is more so just kind of creating what I want, like taking it up a notch. I think that is my thing I struggle with now, because now I'm kind of like, all right, I want to do these creative things, but some of this stuff takes a lot more to get done in terms of like maybe having creative sets, maybe um going out and like really having a dynamic video that's put together where all I have to do is worry about taking photos. You know, like all I had to do was worry about is taking photos, and like literally I have somebody recording me. I have somebody moving my light, you know, like if I could have a video like that, I know, and I have a model that don't flake.
Yes, see, that's
So
you
that
now
I think
you talking that Jessica Kobasi stuff, man. I mean, she be having a whole squad for her videos, bro.
whole
Like
man.
she got the team out there, bro. And the crazy thing about that is, I remember, man, I stumbled across Kobasi's channel, man, a long time ago, and to see where she's at now, where her channel, like just the team that she has in place versus where she was at in the beginning, is wild, man. It's like that's some inspiration for real, because she be having the squad out there, man. uh so I'm looking to have something
It's
to touch on what I'm saying, what I'm about to say here, but what I want to ask now, hold up, I'm trying to pull this up because I want to give some motivation for the people that's doing the channel and dealing with the struggles too. So when it comes to doing a video, like when you're a YouTuber,
yeah,
one of the biggest things that will demotivate the crap out of you is, and we've mentioned this before, is you put all this work into a video. You're happy with the video, you put the video out there, and it gets no views. YouTube doesn't push it, it doesn't get views. You feel like you did everything right, the video content's good, you feel like your title's good, your thumbnail's good, your tags are good, it's a topic that's relevant, that people are watching, and you do that and you don't get no views. So you like, all right, that hurt a little bit, but okay. And then you put out that next video because you know that it's a grind, you got to stick with it. So you put out that next video and it kind of does the same thing, and it's even worse because sometimes you'll see some videos that you're just like, this video, like my video was better than this, but you look at the numbers that video got and you like, man, how come I'm not getting those numbers? So you keep doing that, you put out your next video and it's not really getting numbers. And then, it gets to the point where, you really start to get demotivated because you're like, I'm putting out these videos, I feel like these
mhm,
videos are good, but I'm not getting the views. And so the reason why I brought that up and what I'm looking at, and I just picked Manny Ortiz's channel just because that's just one that came to my mind. Now, Manny Ortiz has 647,000 subs. His last video that he put out 8 days ago has 22,000 views. So if we look at that and we do the math, that's 3.4% of the number of subscribers that he has is what he has in views. So
mhm,
I bring that up to basically just say that even channels that have big numbers of subscribers are only getting still, 5% of that number of subscribers in views on their videos. Like even these heavy hitting channels aren't getting as many views as you would think for how many subscribers they have. So, you really have to just understand that it's just like the days of, having these videos where they're getting crazy amounts of views. Sometimes it happens if it goes viral, or sometimes let me look up that Marky Brownlee dude, because that dude, he's got a crap ton of subscribers. So if we look at his video, so he's got 15.7 million subscribers, and the last video that he put
yeah. He
out,
do a mail easy.
yeah, so the last video that he put out is 2.6 million. So he basically is getting almost 20%, which is really good. But you got to look at his content though. His video is about tech stuff, so there's going to be
Yeah,
a ton of people that are interested in tech stuff. But even at that, how big his channel is, he still is only getting 20%. And all those views are likely not coming from, subscribers. But even if you look at that, like even him, he's only getting 20% of the people that are subscribed to his channel watching his video. So, I mean, the reality is, for a small channel, like your videos aren't going to grab like all these views. So I'm basically just saying that to say that you really can't get too caught up on that, because if you got these channels that have, you know, a 500,000 subscribers, or, you know, Brownlee just got 16 million subscribers, and you know, he's still only getting 20%, hitting that number 20%. What do you think it's going to be like for the smaller channels? Like, you're not going to hit that. So you just got to have realistic goals. Like, I've said it before on our lives. Like, for me, if my video hits 100 views, like, I'm happy. And for a lot of people, 100 views is like nothing. Like, if their video only gets 100 views, that's a flop to them. Like, that's a lose. For me, I'm realistic. I'm just like, if I get 100
Yeah.
views, like if I break 3 digits, I'm happy. And I stay consistent with that, right? So, you know, it's like, you just
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
get
Just
discouraged by those
because
numbers.
100, that's hard. Like, shoot, you even talk about subscribers. Getting 100 subscribers is hard. So, like, yeah, like we said before. For me, like, 1,000 views is what I need. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you don't get that, um, what's your thought process? Like, what if you put out a video and it doesn't hit that 1K? Like, what do you put any thought into it? Do you think about it? Do you move on to the next? Do you not care? Like, what happens?
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't care as much. Like, I don't really ponder about it, but most of the time when I put out a video, like, that's where it should be heading. And for the most part, like, they typically do that and more. So I think that's why I kind of have, like, all right, it should be like about right here. And it's most of the time over time, you know. But then also, this goes to one of your topics also, like, knowing your audience. Like if I really want to hit that like 1,000 in the first day, I know what to put out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
yeah, yeah,
lately, if you all notice, like, my content been like different because I've been like spreading it out. But like, if I wanted that, I know exactly what to put out, you know?
yeah. Let's see here. Let me stay up with these. What up, Chuck? Yep, content is king. Subscriber count definitely does not dictate view count. Entertainment draws views. Indeed. What up, Bryce? Seen channels with a couple hundred subs, but doing numbers on the videos I'm looking at. Yeah, I mean, I just saw a video. I watched a video the other day. Homeboy had 89 subs, but his video had like 20 something hundred views. I don't even remember what the video about. It was photography related, but I was like, shit, man, go on with your bad self. Like, I ain't pulling those numbers. So, you know, it just, you know,
Hey, but
sometimes,
that'd be the interesting thing. And I don't know why people. I know we talked about this before, but like, a channel like that will get those views, but people are less likely to subscribe because they'll look at their subscriber count like, oh no, I'm not giving them my subscribe. You know what I mean?
yeah. So speaking of that, let's touch on that, because it's an interesting thing. We kind of talked about it. We kind of talked about it on another live, just about, you know, subscribing to someone's channel and how we put so much weight onto it when it really isn't even that big of a deal. But even though I made that remark in that video, I still don't subscribe to every, you know, because like, I look for new stuff all the time. Like, when
Uh-oh.
I'm
Oh, you don't
watching,
subscribe to every channel? Okay.
nah, you
Let
know,
us
so it's
let you
like,
tell us about it.
so, you know, when I do YouTube videos, I basically, you know, I'll have a topic that I search for, and then I look for videos that was uploaded either that day or that week. Like, that's basically how I try to find content, because I don't know about your YouTube, but mine, it always pushes videos that are old or videos that I've watched already. So it's like, I don't, they don't give me fresh stuff. So I'll just use the filters to get stuff that's new. And I oftentimes, you know, I find a lot of channels that are smaller, a lot of videos that aren't really getting views. And you
Af-
know,
I like watching smaller channels. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, you know, I mean, hey, we all started there, right? So, you know, to give those people some support is where it's at. But, you know, I'll watch a video and it'll be cool. I like the video. but I don't subscribe though, you know, and it's almost subconscious. Like it's not even like I'm sitting there giving it thought, like, should I subscribe to this channel? Should I not? Like I'm not, I literally give it zero thought. I just don't, you know, I'll watch the video. I'll be like, that's a good video. I might even comment on the video, you know, just to give them some motivation, keep going. Like video was dope, but I don't subscribe, you know? So, okay, what does it take for Tog to subscribe to somebody's YouTube channel? And that's a tough question to answer
Yeah.
because I really, you know, I don't have a system. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not like looking at someone's videos with a checklist. Like, all right, they've hit number 1 and number 2. They just need to do number 3, and I'll subscribe. You know, it's like I don't know, but I feel like they. I don't even know that I would say they necessarily have to be consistent. I know that's kind of one of your things, and you would want them to post videos, but I think I need to see like 2 or 3 videos that, you know, I feel like that was a good video. Like I wanted to watch it all the way through. It was a solid video. Like the content was good, audio was good, kept me intrigued. If somebody has like 2 or 3 videos like that, I typically will subscribe at that point. Now I don't necessarily hit that notification bell. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't do the notification bell for most people's channels because I don't like getting notifications on my phone. So I'll be real. I don't really hit the notification bell for really anybody, but um, I'll subscribe at that point just because, you know, I'm like, yeah, you got some decent content, and you know, I'm always looking for fresh content, which is really hard to find right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's kind of what it looks like for me. What about for you?
Yeah, for me, man, when I first started, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't subscribing to nothing. But then it was like I would be looking for content to watch. And then I was like, man, what am I doing? So, you know, I was finding channels and then subscribe. Now, when I say I wasn't subscribing, that was back in like 2018. So I wasn't even doing YouTube at that point. But then like once I got into it, then that's when I subscribed. So like, you know, I got so many subscriptions right now. Cause like you said, it's dry right now in the YouTube community. So you're just hoping somebody watch a video because YouTube is like TV for me. But the thing that makes me subscribe is I like seeing consistency because I always comment on people videos who make them just to be that inspiration because I remember when I was making my videos and I would be getting bashed by like 20 people and it'd be that one comment that like lifts you up
Yeah.
and you know help you get through to be like, all right, man, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep going. So I just try to return the favor for, you know, everybody else that is creating. But sometimes I can't necessarily determine that angle. Like, I don't know if they're doing this because they want to be like a YouTuber or if they just putting up the content for themselves, you know? And sometimes you see like inconsistency. So, like, if I look at your page and you got a video you dropped today, the last one you dropped 8 months ago. I'm like, all right, I can subscribe and support, but I don't know when I'm gonna get another video.
Right. But see that's the funny thing about it is that why does it matter, right? Like if they haven't dropped a video in 8 months, if you subscribe to that channel, what's that going to do negative to you? Not a thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to see their videos, but it's not like it's hurting your viewing experience by being subscribed to them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the funny thing about subscribing. But
Exactly.
pause on that because I wanna respond to Ike's question before it gets lost because it's got me laughing. And now I don't get notifications, but every day I go to the subscribe tab, so I make sure I watch all the videos of people that I'm subscribed to. So that's I, every single day. Like I'm always gonna look at that tab and make sure that I watch every video of the folks that I'm subscribed to. Make sure I watch it all the way through
Listen,
so
I
they
didn't
get
even know
they
that
get their
tab
watch hours.
existed
Oh yeah,
until you
I
told
hit
me.
it every single
That was like the
day.
golden buzzer for me.
Yeah. So that because otherwise, um, I mean, even if you get notified, right, and you don't have time to watch it right then and there, those videos get buried. Like I would say I don't see half of my subscribers' videos just in like the videos that YouTube is recommending to me. But I'll see a video that's 4 years old though, but I won't see the video that you just dropped 2 days ago. Even and I
Speaking of
mean
that, I keep seeing your 4-year-old video popping up.
yeah, it's just I don't get that, and I do watch most of it on the TV, and I will say the TV the app on the Apple TV is 10 times worse than on my phone. I do get better suggestions on my phone than I do the TV, but yeah, YouTube sucks in that regard, man. Like if I didn't go to the subscriber tab, I would miss out on a lot of videos that the people that I'm sub to put out. So yeah, I mean you got to hit that tab.
And what, yeah, and and watch. So that's one thing that is interesting. Within your community, you kind of make sub communities. So that's where like people, if it's BTS, these people gonna watch. If it's Budor BTS, then more people gonna watch. If it's editing, then only these certain people gonna watch. And so it's like trying to capture all is hard to do. So you end up having like smaller communities within your community
Yeah.
that's looking for
Yeah.
certain stuff from you.
Yep. Definitely. Which is I guess that's it could be a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, if somebody subscribes to your channel because they like, your BTS photo shoots, and then you putting out a 5 things, video, or you putting out, a review video. Obviously, those people that subscribe because they like the booty, they ain't really gonna care
Yeah.
about the 5 things and the review stuff. So then, do
Yeah,
you feel
it
like
might
you
be
have
like, hey,
to?
Man, where the booty at? You ain't been putting out no
Yeah.
booty.
Do you feel like you have to balance that? Like when you're figuring out what videos you want to drop, do you think like, man, I haven't put out this kind of video in a while. Let me put out this video to cater to that market. Is that something you think about at all?
Absolutely. Like I look at how my videos are. So like right now, I've been shooting in the studio a lot. So I've like looked at what I had and I'm like, oh, I need to put out something that's outside. And then from there, I'm like, all right, that's like BTS back to back. Let me put a talking head out. And I'm like, all right, got a talking head. I haven't made a vlog in a while. So let me put a vlog out because I try to like keep my stuff kind of like wide because I don't necessarily like making BTS videos back to back to back to back just because I like the vlog too. So that's why I like to like try to go at all different types of angles.
Yeah, no, that
So
that
it's interesting
that
you
makes
say that
sense.
because I do look at my spread. I'm like, nah, I just did like 2 back-to-back studios. I need something that's outside because just for me.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
though, the viewers might not necessarily care. They like, hey, put it out there. But for me, it's like, nah, let's do something outside or let's do an editing video. Let's break this up a little bit.
Yeah. So speaking of which, we into the month of June. I remember in the wintertime, we was talking about you doing some more outdoor stuff, and you was like, "Yeah, it's cold right now, but as soon as that weather break, all right, that weather done broke, and we don't really see you outside right now. So when we gonna see T Mid doing some on location stuff?"
Yeah. No, that's actually interesting because last week I had 3 outside shoots planned. And all of them, well, one of them said they wasn't feeling good on the day, and the other one stopped responding, and then the third one said that her she was getting like some pasties for her chest. They didn't come in time, so the theme that we had wouldn't work. So like all in that one week, I had 3, and then actually this week I was going to do something outside and I had to book this, pay for this whole scenery. But I looked at the time; they had it blocked out. I wanted to get the sunset, So they had that time blocked out. So I was like, oh, it's not gonna work. But everything happened for a reason, because that time came around on that day and it started raining. And I was like, thank you for not booking that
Yeah,
because it was
yeah,
outside. I would have lost my money. So I'm trying to reschedule all of that right now, which is crazy. But that's why last week, like I had 3 outsides. I'm like, okay, this gonna be good because I'm back outside, and then all that happened. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
I'm still dealing with flakes. Never stops.
it definitely don't stop. So let's talk about the amount of time. So let's look at when you're doing a shoot in your basement versus you doing a shoot on location. So I would say maybe I mean, man, should you include the drive time? Maybe not include the drive time. So take the drive time out of it. But in terms of like prepping and getting everything ready to go, so from start to first click, what's your time commitment for a video in your basement versus a video that you're doing on location?
All right, so let's say that I don't let's say let's say that I don't go live. If I don't go live, I could do it a lot quicker. When I go live, my my main video becomes the secondary priority, because I go live is to entertain you all. So I make that my priority, right? So that's why a lot of the lives, things that I went live for, I don't even have the video out yet, because essentially that video is already out just in a live format. But that's what also gives me extra content, because I have that live, but then I have the official video. So um if I don't go live, I normally do 3 outfits, and I try to spend about no more than 30 minutes on each outfit, because I will already have everything planned out. Now, when I'm outside, so 30 minutes in between. Now, some models different. Like some of them come and they like, oh, I gotta do my makeup. So if it's like a chill situation, I'm like, all right, go ahead, get your makeup done, and we just relaxing. But if I'm like strict, like, all right, we're gonna do this, which I'm kind of never am, because all of this is for YouTube and I'm just having fun anyway, right? But if I was being strict, yeah, 30 minutes, I can get like one outfit, get what I need for my video. Um, and then beyond that, like if I'm outside, that is where a lot, it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more in terms of traveling, like loading the gear, going to the location, and all of that. But normally, I would say I stay outside about 2 to 3 hours easily. And I normally do about 3 outfits. I try to always do at least 3 outfits. That way, like I said before, I can have that model. I can still have looks for that models like months months down the line. Because this is a tip too. Sometimes models start to flake, and then you have like a video you ain't put out. This has happened to me. A video 5 months from when y'all first shot, I put that video out, and then they come back like, oh my god, like they forgot what was cooking up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But
sometimes I
now,
use that as a tactic, just to reel them back.
yeah, now these days, since you split up your videos like that, when you are recording those videos, do you try to change the dynamic of the video for each outfit? So maybe, go to a different location or change the way that you're shooting it so that way it looks different, or do you not worry about it because you're gonna put out each video, 3 months in between, so you don't really worry
Yeah,
about changing it up at all?
that kind of helps. The fact that I know that these videos is coming out like months in advance, like for example, I just put out one video with the girl, like she was doing like an awkward, interesting pose, kind of like on her back,
Hmm.
and I just put that out this month. But I recorded that back in November, and I
Oh, okay.
still have like three videos from back in November that I didn't even put out yet. So, and then she just came back and I went live with her. That's the one that I just went live with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I still got those 3 videos from November, and then I still have. I think we did 3 outfits when she came here like 2 weeks ago, and I haven't even put those videos out. So now I got 6 videos of that girl that are just floating for whenever I want to put it out, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm on location, the way that I do it is I already try to have a different location in mind for the outfit, and then I also try to have a different type of takeaway. So in terms of the lighting setup or what I want to achieve, that way I know what I want to get. Now, prime example of this is the video that I just put out on the natural light with the model that had like the pretty eyes. From that one particular shoot, I was able to get 3 videos out of that one particular shoot. So like knowing how to like massage your content actually helps you a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, a segue, because if I don't ask you this now, I'll completely forget about it because we'll start talking about something else. Now, the models that you shoot, a majority of them, like, obviously the ones like that you shoot again, you know already, but the models that you're shooting for the first time, these are models that you don't really know, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
most of them I don't yeah, I don't
so
know.
yeah, it's like somebody you either reached out to IG or maybe you saw, out and about or whatever, and you're like, yo, we should shoot. So, given that these are people that you don't really know, um, how you're comfortable letting them come back to your place? Like, is that not? Do you have any concerns? Do you take any precautions? Is there anything you have in place to? I don't want to use the word protect yourself, but I'm just gonna say that just for the sake of
Listen,
because
like
I mean there's a lot of crazy stuff. Either girls accusing people of some setups. There's definitely been girls been setting people up. That go over
oh
meet up with a
yeah,
dude, and they got some guys ready to rob them. So for you to bring these people that you don't really know
definitely.
back to your place, like what precautions do you have in place to make sure you good?
Yeah, so definitely one thing is gated community. Another thing is YouTube. YouTube is like when I go live, that helps. Um, and then also, you gotta keep the Draco.
Yeah, 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 yep, yep. Mine sitting on my dresser right now, man. I'm like, run up if you want to, run
Yeah,
up if you want
but
to.
most of the people that I have started like reaching out to like that are friends of models that I'm like
Got you,
cool with now.
got you, got you.
And that helps a lot because a lot of them won't even respond or say anything unless they see that somebody they know. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, a lot of them only shoot with me because they like, oh, you shot my friend right here. And then even still, they go through and vet you out through other people
Mm-hmm.
they might not even know. So a lot of them ask questions to other models and be like, yeah, like, is he weird? Is he like this? And so that's like a thing on making sure you keep a good name because these models be out here uh making sure doing background checks and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It definitely is. I've always been I don't like to say the word paranoid, but I mean I'm definitely just very heightened, just very, So the thought of just having somebody come back to my spot that I don't know, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like the people
Yeah,
that I know that I'm cool with, like there's been people that I've known for years have never been to any spot that I've ever lived at, just because I'm just a private person. So like when I see y'all be having people's at y'all spot, like especially people that y'all don't really know, and I know people would look at it and be like, oh, it's females, what I'm saying, there ain't nothing to worry about. But then you see, the news article where it's like, oh yeah, girl met guy off a Tinder date and gets robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some
yeah,
shiesty girls out there. So that
yeah, it
would
is.
terrify me a little bit. But at the same time, that makes it really easy. You know what I'm saying? You have them come to your spot, you got all your stuff there, everything is set up. Like, it's easy to create content. It's easy to do that photo shoot. So it's like that's the benefit. But yeah, for me,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
try
I
to I try
I
to
don't think
gauge
you're
them
gonna
too.
see any of that on Togg's channel. I don't think don't expect to be seeing me doing any lives with randos at my spot. But you know, you do gotta keep that thing on you though, just in case. You know, the good thing
Yeah,
about
yeah.
being in Vegas now is, you know, Vegas is an open carry state. So you best believe when y'all see me on the lives or y'all see me in videos where I'm out and about in Vegas, you gonna see that thing on me. And it's I gotta have it out because you can carry it, but you can't conceal it. I can't conceal it because I don't have a CC dub yet. So I can carry it, but it's gotta be visible. So y'all gonna see that thing when I'm out and about because Tog don't play. Tog don't
You
play.
know, one interesting thing is a lot of them come by themselves, which is what I find interesting.
Yeah, that is surprising. I would think if there was ever a time where a female model working with a male photographer that they just met, if there was ever a time they was gonna bring somebody, it's when they coming back to your house.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you know, and I mean, you know, I guess the vibes, but you know, I think also what happens is when I do go live, it might offer them a sense of security as well, you
For
know.
sure. For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that it you know, it probably is a little nerve wracking in the beginning because it's like, you know, you got all these people, you know, watching you, but then yeah, it's like at the same time, it's that security as well, knowing that that yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's not just you and that person, it's kind of you and everybody else that's on the live.
And
So
everybody else. But then also, you know, so it's like a twofer. It's like, you know, y'all get entertained, but then also uh y'all entertain us, keep energy up, and also make suggestions that are good for the shot. So it's like it's like a full circle almost.
yeah, yeah, yeah. SJ said, do you tell them that you going live before they come over? It's a good question. Or do you just
Do you
spring it
tell
on them?
them?
Or do you ask them once they get there?
Yeah, so you know, that is a great question because I've never had a problem with going live because I always just be like, all right, I'm gonna go live. And then it didn't dawn on me that, you know, some people probably have a problem. I would expect them to say something like, yeah, I'm going live. Like, oh no. But it didn't dawn on me until one particular person I had told me after the fact, like, yeah, like I was uncomfortable with you going live. And I was like, word, like why you ain't tell me? And it's like, you know, I didn't want to mess up the mood and all of that. I'm like, nah, like first and foremost, it's all about your comfort, you know?
Hmm.
So I was telling them, like, you know, and just going down the line. So when I had that interaction, that made me make sure that I asked everybody therefore, and I even went back to previous people and text them like, you know, I realized XYZ, like, you know, I just want to make sure you ain't never feel some type of way about me going live, you know, just to reassure because it never really popped in my head that like, oh yeah, they would have a problem with it because I already told them that like I'm recording you to make a video for YouTube too, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So I kind of thought that it was just kind of hand in hand, but you know, I'm kind of glad that I did have that experience because it did open up the door to let me know to make sure that I ask because, you know, recording a video that I'm going to edit is different from, you know, the live situation where
yeah.
some people not comfortable live.
Well, them lives can be tough too, man, because it can get wild in the comments. You know what I'm saying? And some people, it just may be a little bit too much for them. So, you know, just imagine what it would be like as a female if you showed up to a photo shoot and then there was, you know, 30, 40 people sitting there that didn't have anything to do with the photo shoot. They're just there watching. You know, it's like if that was 30, 40
Exactly.
people in person, you would be like, yo, like
Like,
this is
yeah, like
I
what
didn't
the
sign up for this. You know what I'm saying? So lives really are the same thing.
exactly.
You just don't see them, but you do got 30, 40 people that's literally just watching you, everything that you're doing and making comments about you. So I mean, for some people that can be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true. That's why, I definitely applaud those who take it. Some a lot of the females, they like the attention. Like like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one
yeah.
particular model that I had, like man, she said she was hungry. She stayed like 2 hours later. Just because she was getting like she was getting energy on the live. So,
Yep, yep.
some people like the live, and so it's all different. But yeah, that's a good perspective, like having that many people, and you like, oh yeah. And some of them like, oh, you on YouTube live, and they don't realize, like, until they pick up the phone, they're like, oh, it's 30 some people oh, it's 40 some
Yeah,
people in here, like, you know what I mean, like, oh, this so that
yeah, yep.
does make a difference between, like, you might have a live and you got two people on there, so you're like, oh, two, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so to touch on Infinite's thing there, about the live being for protection. One thing that I've always done, when I shoot with female models solo, and obviously, I'm always respectful and professional and all that kind of stuff. But and not that this is any kind of legal advice or anything that will save you from anything, but I always make a point after the shoot to have either a text conversation or an Instagram conversation, basically just to show that like everything went how it was supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? So I'll send some, man, it was great working with you. Like here's, I'm going to work on the pictures this time, da 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 da. And then they normally respond back, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely want to shoot with you again. So that way, if 2 months from now or a year from now, they try to be like, well, actually, he put his hands on me, he did this, he did that. At least I have something that I can go back to and be like, this isn't going to say that I'm free and clear, but at least it's something to be able to be like, well, if I did that, why was she why was she saying this stuff? Like she was already gone. Like it's not like she could be
Yeah.
like, well, he was right there and I was scared he was going to retaliate. It's like, no, like you're gone. Like why would you have had that conversation? Why would you have said those things if he did that stuff? So I just try to do that just to give me something, because sometimes you just need something to show that it's like, yo, like I'm the good guy here. So I make a point to do that every single time after any shoot if I'm just with that female, just to have something. So just a little something to throw
Yeah,
out there for people.
that's definitely a good point too. I be having to, make sure I play it close, because sometimes they be feeling the boy mid, and I can't be having that going on. I
I
be
see
like,
you.
I be like, look, I know, baby, I know, baby.
Oh, you crazy,
Like,
but
but
hey,
nah, this not content over everything, baby.
it facts, big facts. Uh, he says, "Do you just bring models in and shoot, or do you interview and model release on each shoot?" I don't think mid use model releases. You don't have them do releases, do you?
Nah, so like specific models, because I did run into a problem with that. I did run into a problem with that, and it's been like recently where um started to have it like more implemented because of like what I'm trying to do from a business standpoint in terms of like my website and stuff. So when I want to go and, I got like some products that I'm thinking about making. And when I want to do stuff like that, then I know that I have to have like all of that under wraps. So that's been more coming more abundantly lately.
Yeah, yeah. I have every single model sign a release every single time. No exceptions. Like if a model is not comfortable signing the release, and my release has nothing in it that's not standard or normal. So if they have
Oh
a problem signing
man.
the release, we don't shoot. I do not shoot without a release, and I do everything electronic, so it's easy. But yeah, no release, no shoot, no exception to that at all. Because since I am full time, I just like to make sure that I'm consistent. Not even from the perspective of I'm worried about the model coming back, because it could even be a model that I know, or a model that, like, if I shoot with the same model 10 shoots, she's gonna sign a release 10 times. So it's not even like it's like, oh, I think they're gonna come back and do XYZ. I do keep it for that, but I also keep it for consistency from a business perspective, because just to give a little tidbit, sometimes if you're in a situation where you get sued for something, one of the things that can help you the most is that you can show consistency. So, if I'm out here shooting all these people and I never have them do a release, and then, this one person, I had them do a release, and that person happens to sue me, and I'm like, oh, I got this release. It's cool that I got the release, but if, the judge or whoever, if they're just like, if they see that I haven't been consistent, that release doesn't carry as much weight. But if I could say every person that I shoot with has a release, I do it this way every single time with every person that I shoot with, regardless of who it is, then that helps me with credibility. And we all know that the biggest thing that you can have if you're getting sued is credibility. If people don't believe what you're saying, you're not going to win. So I try to do everything that I can do to show that credibility, to have that consistency, to say, I know that I did this because I do it every single time. So I know that I did it. So I always keep things like that in my mind, but also just like to be consistent, and just have that release, because who knows what I would want to do with something. It's like maybe 6 months from now,
Exactly.
I want to put it on my website, or I want to use it for XYZ. I don't want to have to go back to the model and then be like, yo, I want to do this. Can you sign this release? Number one, that's just backwards, because now it's like it kind of makes the release not even carry any weight because you had it signed 6 months after the shoot. But then, you might not be able to get a hold of the model, or maybe, they'd be like, I'll sign it, but I want some compensation, or I want this, or I want that. It's just easy to just do it right up front and just have it and be done with it.
What's
Let's
that?
see.
Have you ever done a giveaway on your channel?
I have never done a giveaway.
Uh-oh,
No,
we
I
need
am. I
Tog
am.
to do a
I'm not.
giveaway.
I am not a fan of giveaways, and the reason why I don't particularly like giveaways is because I feel like, okay, so there's levels to giveaways, because there's a good friend of mine back home. She does giveaways all the time, but she is a very successful photographer. She doesn't need to do the giveaways. She does them because she
Mhm.
wants to do them, and it's just kind of a part of like her business and her marketing plan. So I'm 100% okay with that. I don't like doing giveaways where I see giveaways like on YouTube, where people are, oh, I want to get to, 5,000 subscribers. When I get there, I'm going to do this giveaway. To me, there's not a lot of value there, because yeah, okay, it might help me get to 5,000, but people are just doing the action to get the thing. Like, they're not going to interact with your
Mhm.
channel. You're not going to really get anything from them. You literally just get them to do what you need them to do, just so they hopefully can win something. So I just don't see a lot of value in giveaways. Like, I don't want you subscribing to my channel because you might win a camera. It's like I would rather grind it
That
out and get my subs authentically than to offer something for free to try to get those. I don't want to buy that sort of thing. So yeah, I just don't. I'm not a big fan of the giveaways. At
no, that
least
makes
not
sense. Just
where
like
I'm at now.
I would rather a family member not subscribe to my channel, because it's not going to do anything for me if you don't really like watching the content that I create. Like I
Yeah.
just had somebody like, "Oh man, I'm so subscribe. I'm gonna subscribe." I'm like, "Nah, you don't gotta subscribe. It's cool." I'm like, no
Pass.
shade to you, but like if you don't like the content, I much rather see you in my comments, like commenting and actually engaging with me, than to
Right.
just have another subscriber. Like I can get another subscriber overnight.
Yep. Um, Yeah, so to touch on how many images usually give to the models, I do. It depends on the model. Um, Typically, if it's a model that like, it's kind of hard
Oh,
to
you show
explain, but like if it's
favoritism? Uh-oh.
no, it like
Uh-oh.
if it's a model that we, like we don't really develop like
Yeah.
that rapport, and it just, like we get the shots, but it's just kind of like, the session was fine, but we probably aren't going to really message each other after that and collaborate on other stuff or whatever. They typically will get 4 to 6. If it's somebody that is like, yeah, like it's cool, like we had a great time, we already talking about doing another one. Those I typically do 8. And if it's somebody that I work with kind of on a more consistent basis, or just circumstances call for it, I'll do 10. But I fully edit those, so I try to keep the number low because it takes me some time to edit those, and I'm not getting
Man,
paid for it. So I know you do what,
that's what I'm
3?
saying. Yeah, I do
Yeah,
3, man. Yeah,
yeah,
that take a long time, man. Like if could because I really like, dodge and burn and frequency separate and color grade and man, when I sit down and do that, that'd be a lot of time on them images. I'm like, look,
yeah.
you gonna get this 3, and if you don't, if then I'll go back and make my video, and then if I have some
I'm,
extra
I,
edits, I'll give them to
I'm laughing at Ike's comment because that's hilarious, bro.
him.
Oh, that's good, bro. That's good. That's facts,
He
though.
got AP got edit some photos for his last model. How many edits you giving up, AP? Hey, Eduardo said you give away something free every time you give away a video.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's true. It doesn't. Yeah, I mean that is true. Um, I mean, I do get a few pennies
Oh,
from
can you compete
YouTube.
with AP? Can you compete with AP? AP said he give away
As
as
many
many
as
as
she
she
asked
asked
for.
for.
Well, but
Oh,
yeah,
AP the goat.
AP retired though, right? So he got time, right? I think he retired. I hope he retired because I don't want to be making him older than he is. AP, you look great, however old you are, but yeah, no, I definitely would not do that. Um, and I mean, I established that up front just to be clear. So before they ever before we ever do the shoot, like they know how many they gonna get. So they're cool with that before we start.
Oh, down, yeah.
Man,
Nah,
I want to know how
lately I've
to
been giving
say his
JPEGs.
name. I don't want to mess up his name. I don't know if it's Giro. You put in the
Welcome to the
comment how you
scene,
say your
man.
name so I don't be messing up your name. I've been wanting to say it this whole time, and I'm like, I don't want to butcher the name because it could be
You
Giro,
want
could
you
be
want to say gyro, huh?
Giro. So is that Giro? Cause see, that's the thing, it's like with languages, man. Like I was studying the German language for a while, and the way that Giro, okay. So the way they say some
Why
of the
can't you just put
English
it like
letters.
that then? It's like no.
uh yeah, so yeah,
Oh,
so
he
I
gave you
always
the full breakdown.
that's what I need. So that's the way I say the name right, Giro. So the reason I was saying your name is because I was reading your comment about 3 years. Where was it at? I was going to ask about that. Yeah, every session has a release limitation of 3 years of usage. That's interesting. Um, why do you do that? Not saying that you shouldn't. I've never really thought to do that for portrait stuff. Like I have a limitation of usage on commercial products, commercial photography stuff, but not for portrait or for, you know, collabs. I have no limitation. So is that limitation for commercial, or if you did a portrait, like a typical portrait session, you would limit it to 3 years as well? And if it's for your portrait stuff, I mean, do you keep track of that? You know, because like for
Man,
commercial
my
stuff, you know,
thing is
I keep track of that. Yeah.
this my thing about that. I feel like it goes back to like you know SJ saying telling the models don't edit his photos. Like what you gonna do if you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like edit the photo. What you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing. So like that limitation. How much like are you gonna go to court? I guess if it's that much money involved, then you have to wait if it's worth it to really like go after it, right?
Yeah. See, that's the thing with you know, when it's commercial, it's easier to do that because I would have no issue, you know, sending a cease and desist to a company. You know what I'm saying? Like that's nothing personal. Like that's
Oh
like,
yeah.
yo, like you if you want to keep using this, you need to, you know, renew your license. I would have no problem doing that for a company. For a person, I can't see where it would be worth it for me because I mean, even with the company, like if I was to file a lawsuit and seek damages, I would have a better chance of getting it from a company than I ever would from, you know, just a
A
person.
person. Yeah,
So
I can see that. Yeah.
okay, so he says he thinks it mostly for agencies. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, commercial. I actually limit mine to 2 years because I think, and I do that because in a you know in the world that we live in, 2 years is a long time to use content. Typically, after 2 years, you would be wanting to use some different content anyway. Um, so I do a 2 year limitation on mine. I also do exclusive. So I know a lot of people will do non-exclusive so that they can use the content for other stuff. But I just always feel weird doing that. You know, it's like if I'm doing a branding session, for example, it would just be weird to me to use images from that branding session and license those images to someone else. Number one, the company probably wouldn't necessarily be okay with that, but that just would be weird to me. Like, who would I want to license T-mid images to where I would, you know, make the license non-exclusive? So I do exclusive and I do 2 years.
Hey, I'm a very marketable person. What you mean? You might want to release them to.
So
You might
somewhere
want to
take
release them to
keys.
a Wheelie with those S3s you got.
Hey. Somewhere take keys mentioned me sending my release, and I want to touch on why I never do that. Um, comment was somewhere. He basically said send the release. Now the reason why I never send my release to people, so there's a couple of reasons. Number one, um, people really, if you want to do it the right way, you need to make a release that's applicable to where you live at, city, county, state, because every place is different. So, you know, the one that I had drafted or that I drafted and had reviewed for California is going to be different than the one that I'm going to have reviewed for Nevada. And I have all my reviews looked over by a lawyer. You know, it's to me that's just one of those expenses that it just makes sense, because if you're going to do a release, it doesn't make sense to not know if that release is going to hold up in court. So you really have to take the time and money to have it looked over. And it really isn't as expensive as you would think if you draft it yourself. If you have them draft it, it can get expensive, especially if they don't have a template. And a lot of times, if the lawyers are kind of shisty, even if they do have a template, they won't tell you that they have a template, and they'll act like they're making it from scratch just to be able to charge you more money. So definitely be careful for that if you go to an attorney to do a release. Um, so number one, I don't give it out because, you know, it is relative to where you are. So you need to check for that. Number two, the second reason why I don't is because my release contains things that are applicable to my business and how I run my business and what I do, which may or may not be applicable to someone else. And I really just think that people, instead of just taking a template and saying this will work or trying to modify that, people just need to think about how they're doing their business and put stuff in their release that is applicable for their particular business. And I know there's a lot
Yeah.
of templates out there, which is fine. You know, people can use templates. I have never used a template. I have just drafted my own, just because I know what I want to have in there. And then as things either just come to my mind, or I'll see an article about something, or I'll be talking to another photographer, just another person in general, and I'm like, oh, I don't have anything like that in my contract. I need to add that. I'll add those things, and then over time, I'll have the contract reviewed again by an attorney. So it's one of those things. You know, sometimes, you know, it's kind of tough, right? Because you always are going to try to have, and it sounds mean, but it's happened to me too, and it really did help me just coming up. There's always a line between how much you'll give to somebody and how much you'll say, you know, you got to figure this out on your own, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's not to be mean. Take keys. I'm not, this isn't about you in the contract. It's kind of just a segue, but just in general, even like, let's say you teaching somebody about photography. Like at some point, there's a line between how much that you're going to do for somebody and how much you're going to be like, you got to figure this out on your own. Because if people were to give you everything, you wouldn't develop the skill set of being able to think critically to be able to do these things on your own. So there's just some things where I'm just like, nah, you got to figure that out for yourself, and figure out what works best for you. And when it comes to contracts, sometimes I think that way.
So at the end of the day, take key. Hell nah, you ain't getting that release, my
Right, right.
he tried to
Now,
try to
now,
lay it on smooth, but I'm gonna be real direct for you.
now, what I will do and what I have done is I will definitely look over somebody's contract just to give an outside perspective, and kind of say, hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? I will do that 100%. Um, but I just think, if I just give mine to someone and then they just go and use it, I kind of feel like, that's just irresponsible, because if that doesn't work for them and then if they ever need it, I just feel like, yeah, I should have pushed them to think more on what they would need and kind of do their own thing versus just giving mine, and also have different contracts for different stuff. So a model release that I use for a collab is different than, a client release that I use for a shoot, which is different than a commercial release that I do for branding, which is different than, something that I would use for other things. Like, I have multiple contracts. I don't just have the same one, because depending upon what it is, I have language in there that touches on specific things. So
Oh yeah. So kind of staring back to your creative content. How how long? Well, how do you go about trying to mix up your content and not being predictive? Like, I guess it's some people you watch that you can kind of predict what their video is going to be, which lose your attention.
yeah, and I think it would lose a lot of people's attention, because, and it's probably a bad thing, but where we are in society, like, we get bored quick because there's so much
Yeah.
content that we consume every single day that we get bored quick. So it's like, if you're seeing the same type of video over and over, the only people that are going to watch that video is just people that are just supporting you and your channel, which I do that. But just from a bigger picture, yeah, like, people will not want to just watch the same thing, because there's nothing exciting there. It's like, once people know what you're going to do, that interest isn't there. It's like when you used to chase after the girl and then you get the girl, and then you're just like, uh, okay.
Oh, you
It's not
want
exciting anymore,
yeah.
because the thing that was most exciting was the chase, you know. And then once the chase was over and you got the girl, it's just kind of like, I mean, you cool, but I missed the chase.
Yeah.
I want something new and
Yeah.
exciting. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, um, I, I almost have different stuff just because it was okay. So when I was in LA, it was kind of easy because I didn't have like my stuff just always set up. So every time I did a video, I had to set everything up. So obviously I was limited in terms of like space in that regard and like where I could shoot and that sort of thing. But it was always somewhat kind of different just because like I had to set everything up from scratch and all of that. Um, but I also, like you, I have a list of topics that I want to talk about in videos. So, it's like I have, my portrait lighting mini series, and then I have, whenever I do get on my game and do a BTS photo shoot, I'll have that. Then I'll have, my educational stuff, or, I'm comparing this product to that product. Even doing like thinking about something like doing, a comparison of product, even that, so it's like when I said, you got to spice it up and have variety, it doesn't mean that like you can't do back to back to back comparison of stuff. Like the variety is going to be that you're comparing different things. So that's still intriguing. Like people are still going to watch that because it's like, oh yeah, this is like, yeah, he always has these comparison videos and they're really good. Like, what's he comparing today? If you was just dropping the same video where you comparing the same things, but you just, you're not really changing anything up, people eventually going to be like, yeah, I know you compared this already. I already know how this is going to go. Like, I'm not interested in this video. So, I just try to kind of have different things that I'm talking about. So it's either going to be like an educational thing where I'm giving you tips, or it's going to be a comparison video of some sort, or it's going to be a BTS thing. So that in and of itself is going to kind of keep the videos different, because those are different things. An educational video is not going to be the same as a comparison video, which is not going to be the same as a photo shoot, or if I go live, you know what I'm saying? So all those things are different. That's really what I was talking about when I was just saying spice things up. Like, you don't want to
Yeah.
have to where you're doing, imagine like if you was doing those shoots in your basement and you did the same exact lighting setup, the same background, the same everything every single time. You shot the same, you used the same camera, you use the same focal length. Eventually people would just be like, I'm only tuning in because I hope that the girl is lit and I can interact with the girl. But as far as like your content, people wouldn't care about it because they're going to be like, I already know it's going to be a 2 light setup on a gray backdrop. He's going to use the Nikon Z7 II with the 70 to 200. He's going to do. People be like, I don't even care about the photos. I just want to see what the girl is. You know what I'm saying? So if you took that component out of it and you didn't have, baddies in your video, people would be like, I'm not tuning into this. I already know what it's going to be. So that was really just the point that I was trying to get across there, was that, you just got to spice things up. So even though you do a lot of those lives in your basement, your setup is always different. So every time you go live, it's like, yeah, let me see what type of setup he going to have today. There's still something that makes me want to be like, yeah, let me watch that.
What's that? So, and then that that good old intro.
And when I watched the video back, I realized that I sounded very passionate about not liking intros in videos. Like, it definitely sounded like somebody pissed me off that day with their intro in a video, and I'm not sure why. But I have had a distaste for intro videos for quite some time because they just don't serve any purpose. They don't. Like, if someone like,
Oh yeah.
people aren't getting presented with your video without knowing what video is being presented to them. Like, your videos on YouTube, like, someone clicked that video, like they know exactly whose video it is. Like, it's not like someone is just sitting in front of a TV and there's just content that's being presented to them out the blue and they have no idea who is who. And it's just like, there's just no point in having the intro. It doesn't do anything, and people's intros are just too long. Like, I've seen videos where, it'll kind of be like a quick branding type intro where it's nothing elaborate. It may just be like, their logo pops up with a little sound effect or something like that. And it's like, that's
Yeah.
cool. And it'll literally be 2-3 seconds. And I'm like, no problem. Like, no problem. But when you have the whole full on production, and there was one that I saw, it was 20 seconds. It was 20 seconds for an intro. That was, you could tell it was just a template intro. Like, it wasn't anything unique or authentic. It was a template intro that they just put their images into, and you got the music and all. 20 seconds, man. There's just no reason for that, man. There's just no reason for that, and I stand by that 100%. Like, I said what I said, and I will not take that back. Like, there's just no point for intros. I mean, if people want to have them, that's cool. Like, I'm just that's just my opinion. I just don't see the point.
Hey, don't say nothing when I come through with this 1 minute intro.
Yeah, I mean, and you say intros to get more time and length, but I mean that's not really going to help you much, man. Like, 20 seconds, like if you just need an extra 20 seconds, I mean, okay. But
Hey, just drag out a end screen or something.
yeah, I just and honestly, the ones that irk me the most, and it's not a big deal. It really isn't. But we all have those things where it's just like, yeah, like if I had to say something that annoys me with videos, it's when I'm watching a video and you have like your little intro clip, so it's like, hey, what up, blah blah blah, da da da, and then a minute later you're like, but okay, let's roll that intro and then we'll talk about it when we're back. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, at that point, what was like? There's no point in
Yeah.
that intro. Like, don't just talk. Like, we don't need that. So yeah,
Yeah, that definitely comes from like those videos where people try to give up and comers tips on how they could probably improve their video. But speaking on that, um, what is your take? Like, do you watch all your videos back to like
hundred,
before you post it to see like if you made any problems or
a
anything?
hundred, 100%. I watched the entire video before I ever upload it, because I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And sometimes, like, I might catch something. It doesn't mean I might, if it's small enough, I'll be like, it is what it is. But yeah, I
Hmm.
watch every video in its entirety before I post it, just to make sure that everything is good, to make sure that the audio is synced up. Because I've had videos before in the past where I'll export it and then I play it back and somehow the audio got messed up. So my voice isn't matching the video. So then I have to go back and fix that. So yeah, always watch the whole thing all the way through, because normally my videos is they're less than 10 minutes almost all the time. Like this one I did yesterday, I haven't had a video that long in a long time, so it's 10 minutes. So yeah, I watch it all the way through just to make sure it's good, and if I got to fix something, I fix it, and then once it's good, I upload it. Yeah, do you do the same?
Yeah. Um, I'm kind of like half and half. Sometimes I eventually do watch it back, but sometimes I watch it back on YouTube and I
Yeah,
look and I'm like, ah. So then at that point I end up having to like cut a piece out instead of being able to like remedy it in Adobe or whatnot. But most of the times I do try to watch it back.
what
Sometimes
would
like
be
if it's
what would be a case where you wouldn't watch it? Like, what would stop you from watching it to make sure it's good before you post it? Like, what
um
when
like a good example is like the 5 things videos that I do. Like I don't really watch those back because it's a talking head and I just have my B-roll in there. So I know it's pretty consistent throughout.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
something that I have more cut up where it's like I'm transitioning to the photos, back to the BTS, back to this, like a vlog for sure, because I try to change the melody and set a mood with the different sounds and sound effects. So that's something that I'm going back and going into detail. Like, all right, is this are these cuts lining up with the beat? Because you want it to make sense.
yeah. which I'm actually laughing because I really just got a visual of how insignificant LOLs are. Like LOL laughing out loud, and I type it and I wasn't even laughing. You know, it's like we need a way to say like internally laughing out loud, or we need something, because I know most of the time when I be putting LOLs and stuff, I be thinking stuff's funny, but I don't be laughing out loud though. But yeah, that's just kind of becomes
So
synonymous with
the
that's funny.
intro should be no longer than 4 seconds, you
I
say?
say 4 seconds tops. And like I said in the video, at one point it was 10, but I think we're past that. 10 seconds is too long. Like 3-4 seconds max if you're gonna have one. And put it very close to the beginning of the video, either right when the video start, or if you want to be like, in this video, we're talking about whatever, and then boom, you roll it and then you get to it. Okay, that's cool too. Anything more than that, it's too much. It's too much. Yeah, definitely too much.
So we got, hey, you got 3 to 4
And you
seconds to
and
make
and
that
you know
video shine.
you see them all the time because, you know, like I said, people are using these templates, you know. So once these templates came out, okay, so not that it matters. Like, people could do whatever they want to do in their videos. I do want to be very clear on that. But the problem that I have with like all of these templates for stuff is somewhat the problem that I have with presets, but just a little bit different. When I watch a video and you look at the quality of the video, and this isn't a knock on the video at all. This is just, I'm just being real. When you look at like the quality of the video, but then you see these effects that are in the video, and you're just like, those effects are way too nice for this video. Like, it's clear that like you just bought these templates, or you just acquired this content and put it into your video. I always notice that, and it bothers me, because it's just like, if you're gonna have like this fancy intro, imagine you got like this fancy intro with all the flippy stuff and all the graphics and all that kind of stuff, and then you watch the video, and the video, you know, was the quality of the video is crappy, the audio is crappy, the stage presence is crappy. It's like, bro, it doesn't sync. It doesn't sync. Like, don't use this fancy animation, but then your video doesn't match the quality of the animation that you put in there. Because it's clear to me that it's like you just got that from somewhere and you just plugged it in. I don't like that. But I mean, that's kind of normal, man. Like, I see it all the time, because, you know, now you got all of these platforms where you can get, you know, that content, you know, so it's easy to just download the thing, put your images in it, and then you good to go. You know, that stuff it's easy to get these days. So a lot of people are doing that. And every time I see it, I'm just like, man, just be original, man. Like, just either make your own, or just don't have something like that, and just have something that fits with you and your channel and who you are. But, you know, maybe I'm just sounding like an old
Talk
grumpy man.
does not like intros. So if he is subscribed, remove your intros.
Nah, you know what? When I see him, because like I said, when I watch videos, I let videos play all the way through, because I just like giving people the watch hours, and just helping with they analytics. So I'll watch it anyway. I don't skip past it, because I just like to let videos play all the way through for people. But I definitely know there's people that it's like that'll make them want to click off, because some people really just don't like. Statistically, I'm telling you, like, people don't like intros. Statistically proven, they don't like intros. And like I said, it's like, why you think they got a skip intro button on Netflix? Like, there's a reason why they have that. Like, if nobody complained about the intros, like, Netflix wouldn't put a skip intro. Like, there's a reason why it's there, because people don't like the intro.
That's true.
Freestyling over a beat. Hey, Ike, do that, please. Please. I would definitely be down for that. You do an intro like that, I'll make another video saying I hate all intros except for this one, and I will play it back to back to back on my channel. Yeah, definitely.
Nah, what? So the thing that I'm interested in is like hearing hearing from. Well, you got MP in here. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
Tay in here. Yeah,
Yeah, MP,
how
Dean.
how as far as consistency, what makes you struggle with consistency?
Yeah, I definitely want to
And
know that as well.
yeah, and does it come from you getting on the platform and being like, oh, this way harder than I thought it was gonna be. I thought that I could do XYZ and then I'll be shooting straight to the top.
Right. So let me ask a specific question to Dean, because I know when you first came back to YouTube a little while ago, your goal was to do 3 videos a week. And I remember when I watched that video and you said that, I was just like, all right, all right, that's a tall order. So, obviously, that isn't something that you've been able to do. So what was the hardest thing that you faced trying to do that 3 video a week commitment? Like, what were some of the reasons as to why that just didn't end up being doable for you?
Oh yeah, you got Infinite Productions. This YouTube thing is a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah, so tell us, like, drop your comment and, like, let us know what has
Yeah, what was
been,
hard?
yeah, like, what was harder than you thought? Like, how did you think it was going to be, and then what shocked you and you were just like, yeah, like, this is tough? Like, was it, the time commitment? Was it figuring out what to do? Was it the editing? Was it the, being in front of the camera? What were the things that made it difficult?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you got that link for them too if they want to hop on there, talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Hop in from their phone if you want to hop in on the phone.
Work full-time job, working on different projects, have a family, a wife, run a small business. And on top of that, the models don't be consistent. So yeah, that's definitely true. It is hard to, YouTube becomes something you have to prioritize. That's the reality of it. Like, if you want to be
Yeah.
consistent with YouTube, it has to be a priority for you, plain and simple. Like, if you don't prioritize YouTube, you will not be consistent. Because I speaking for myself, there's definitely times where it's like, where I'm making a video, it's like I got other stuff that I need to do, but I know I want to get the video out, so I just have to prioritize it that day to get that content together and get it edited up. If I just waited until it was convenient or waited until I had free time, y'all wouldn't be seeing any videos from Talk. I can tell you that right now. So to really be consistent in this game, you do have to prioritize it. You have to make a point to make these videos,
Yeah.
which is not easy to do.
Definitely not because like, I work full time and I'm going to the gym every day. Did you work out today? And then,
It's an off day for me.
and then I just have other things that family things as well. So I really have to make a point to say, all right, I'm going to edit at least 1 minute today. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. The editing part, I mean, all of it is time consuming, and you think, like, going into it, like, even if you were like, I'm just going to do 1 video a week, you think when you say that, you're like, okay, 1 video a week, that's nothing. I could do 1 video a week. But going back to what Ike said earlier, a
Hmm.
video, I mean, it could take you 18, 20 hours, for everything, filming, getting everything, editing, all that stuff. So when you look at, 1 video a week, that sounds like nothing. But imagine if it's taking you 15 hours of your time, to all together to do that. That's a big commitment, to give 15 hours every week to make a YouTube video. That's a big time commitment. And it's like,
Yeah.
in the beginning, yeah, you might think like, okay, I could do this, but as you start to go on and you got other things going on, it gets harder to prioritize that 15 hours a week. And then, when you're a newer channel and you put out that video and it only gets 20 views, you just committed 15 hours to get 20 views on a video. Okay, that's fine for that first video, but then you do that again and you get that same result. You're going to be like, yo, like I'm prioritizing 15 hours of my life just to have, 10, 15 people watch the video. You get discouraged and you just like, it's not worth it. So,
Yeah,
that's where
that's
you got to
facts.
say, how committed are you to really doing your YouTube stuff? Because if you're committed to doing it, you got to push through that. You got to just accept that that's just the way that it's going to go. You got to pay those dues. But
Pay,
it's like,
man, what? That's the thing. You gotta pay those dues. You
yeah,
have to pay those dues,
gotta
man.
gotta gotta pay them. And I could tell you straight up, man, they expensive. They expensive. But
Very expensive.
I think where obviously for you and me, man, where it's different, we're not married, so we don't have kids. So obviously, if you're married and you got a family, um, that's really hard to juggle all that. Now, of course, Ike does it like a pro because, they do a lot of content creation. They've been doing it for a long time. So like that's their life. Like, they know how to balance all of that. But when you're not submersed in it and you don't have the history like somebody like Ike and Tosh do, it's hard to balance, especially if you work in a full-time job, to balance a job, to
Yeah.
balance your family time, your wife time, and then try to do this YouTube thing. It's almost
Now,
impossible. It's almost impossible.
one thing I will say, from my perspective, that a lot of people probably don't know is I am the guardian to my niece. So I basically raised my niece. So while I'm doing all of this, like I do have my niece that I'm raising. So
Yeah, yeah,
on top of me doing all of this, I'm going to cheer practices, I'm going to cheer events, I'm going to tumbling. I'm doing all of that in the background. So it is even harder for me to
yeah.
have to make that time to get those things done.
Yep. I mean, 100%. And that's where it comes back to the priority thing. And I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about that aspect. But I do have a busy schedule, and so I do have to prioritize and say, okay, when does it make the most sense for me to do YouTube stuff? Because being a full time photographer, and then I have another business as well. It's like you could just say, oh, well, you could make a video whenever you want, and it's like, yeah, that's true, but I treat my entrepreneurship as a 9 to 5. Like I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning. I'm working, like I'm putting in at least 10 hours a day into my businesses Monday through Friday, just like it was a normal 9 to 5. So I can't sit there and just be like, oh, well, let me just take 4 hours out of my workday to make a YouTube video. It's like I'm not making that much money off of YouTube. Like certainly not enough to take 4 hours out of my day to commit to making a YouTube video when I should be marketing. I should be, doing a photo shoot. I should be doing whatever. It's like I have a thousand things that I need to do for, my photography business. I don't really have time to take away for YouTube. So what do I try to do? I try to do it on the weekend. Now, that gets tough because, you work Monday through Friday. You want to be able to do, the social stuff on the weekend. So now it's like, okay, do I take away some of my social time to do this video? And it's not just recording the video, but it's editing the video and all that kind of stuff. And then I still need my downtime. It's like I don't want to feel like I'm
Yeah.
literally working 7 days a week. Like I don't want to get burnt out. So trying to balance that time is definitely hard. And all I'm balancing is, my company time, my business time really. It's like I don't have the kids and a lot of these other things that some of y'all out there are having to juggle as well. So I can only imagine how difficult that would be. And I think it really goes to highlight how much people underestimate what goes in to YouTube, because you have,
Yeah.
someone that has a family and a wife and working full time and still think that they can do a YouTube channel because they think that it's not really that much work. Like, I could do this. It's easy. And then you get into it and you realize, like, yeah, it's a little bit more than I thought it was going to be.
But a lot of the stuff with the families and like the girls, man, I'll tell you this, like when I first started, I was in a relationship. And now I am not, because one thing, it was a lot of things, but one of the things that stuck out was the fact that the problem was that I was on the computer too much.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was one of the cause to be like, yo, like and I had to let them know I'm T May. I'm T to the M to the IDD, baby. I'm gonna have to put myself first on this one, baby. So if you can't
Yeah.
handle me being on this computer, then that's gonna be that, because at the end of the day, like I'm not married, so I don't have that commitment. But one thing that I'm always going to do is chase my dream. So if it's something that I want to achieve, man, I'm going to go for it like wholeheartedly. And so whatever thing stones have to be turned to do that, I want to make sure I live my life without a regret and look back and say, like, dang, what if I would have just made that last one? What if I would have just risked it all? But that's just me though. That's just me. A lot of y'all ain't trying to risk y'all marriages, but that's just me though.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where it's just conversations that have to be had and understandings need to be, reached, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like me and my girl, like when I was in LA, like the way that we managed that was there would be set times that I would do stuff, and it worked out because then she was able to do her own thing as well. Cause like in any relationship or marriage, like you gotta have your me time. You know what I'm saying? So, we basically kind of understood, okay, I'm gonna do a video on Thursday. So, Thursday when you get home from work, like you on your own, because I'm gonna be editing this video. Okay, cool. Like I'm gonna go do this, or I've been wanting to watch this show that I know you don't want to watch, so I'm gonna watch this show, and that worked. But then there'd be sometimes though where I would, because I'm the type, like if I'm working on something and I'm in the middle of it, I don't be wanting to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just work on this for an hour. If I'm an hour in and I'm just like, I just need 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I can have this done. I'm the type where I'm just like, let me just stay with it for another 20, 30 minutes, get it done so that way I don't have to worry about it. That doesn't work that well when you have a significant other that you haven't planned that with, because
Yeah.
you got to be respectful of them and their time. Like I was the one that made dinner. So it's like if it's 7 o'clock, I'm supposed to stop at 6:30 so I can get dinner going. It's 7 o'clock, 7:30. She waiting on me for dinner. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
I can't be like, well, you just gonna have to wait till I'm done, or I could be like, yeah, go make your own thing. But I like making dinner. It's not that she couldn't cook. I just like making the dinner, so she let me make dinner. So, it's like, yeah, I can't be inconsiderate of her and be like, you gonna wait tonight. Like you gonna eat at 9 o'clock. Nobody wanna be eating dinner at 9 o'clock, So it definitely is hard when you have other people that you gotta be aware and respectful of, like their time and all that kind of stuff. So you just gotta, those are just conversations you gotta have, man.
Yeah, and it get tricky. You got you that this is where the relationship problems come in, because you could go down into the rabbit hole where then women start hitting you with, you don't know my love language, and now I gotta read the 5 love languages book, and now she telling me my love language is quality time, which I can't get because you always on the computer. So
I
so
I
it ain't
think
working out,
I I think Mid speaking from experience here. I think that's exactly
man.
what
It's
he
a
heard.
experience. I'm telling you. But the other thing is, like, I really be enjoying what I'm doing. So like the time though, it don't seem like time passing to me. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
which is probably the same for everybody. Like you might be on the computer for 10 hours. It feel like you've been on there for 30 minutes.
right, right. Yeah, again, that just comes back to that communication thing and just you don't always get it right. I definitely didn't always get it right, but I tried to balance it as much as I could. I always made sure that there was that time on the weekend, like no matter what, like there was going to be that time on the weekend that I didn't do any YouTube stuff. I didn't do any business stuff. Like that time was dedicated for us, for us to do something. So no matter what, at least on the weekend, we was going to do something. So if I failed as a boyfriend during the week, at least on the weekend, I'm gonna make it up. So
Man, but what then they be having problems with you rubbing the oil on the models. I mean, I don't understand.
see now,
No, that's a deal breaker right
yeah,
there.
I never dealt with that because I don't go live. I would imagine, it's like when me and my girl when we first started dating. I believe that was a conversation that we had. Like, not it wasn't like one of the first conversations, but I want to say I'm pretty sure like we had that conversation early on. Like, just being a photographer and understanding that it's like I shoot more females than I'm ever going to shoot males. Like, that's just the nature of photography. So that was definitely a conversation that I'm pretty sure that we had, and it's like what is your comfort level on that. And I remember I did a live stream with Ryan Troy about some of that stuff. Um, and for me, it really just came down to her comfort level. It's like if there was something that she wasn't comfortable with, um, within reason, I did my best to work around that because as a
Yeah,
photographer, there's different ways that I can do stuff. So if one way makes someone feel uncomfortable that I care about, okay, is there an alternative way? Now, again, that's within reason. It's like if she's just like, I just don't want you working with female models, I would be like, that's not practical. And it's like if I'm not doing that, I'm probably not gonna make enough money to pay for this stuff. Like that's just not practical to me. Like, why do you feel
yeah,
uncomfortable with that? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? So those are always, conversations to be had. But, for the most part, I'm just like, yo, it's like I'm gonna shoot with models. It may just be me and her, but at the end of the day, it comes back to trust. You know what I'm saying? It's like if at any point, if I'm out doing a photo shoot, if you're thinking that something might happen, we've got a trust issue that we need to work through. Because if that trust is there,
yeah.
you know that nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter if I'm shooting boudoir and she's completely naked. Like, nothing is going to happen. So that's kind of like the people that are in relationships and like their girls have a problem with them shooting with female models. I can't say that there's trust issues in that relationship, but that literally is the first thing that I think. Because if you have trust, there may be things that they're like, yo, you do that. I trust you, but I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like your girl can be like,
Yeah.
man, I trust you. I know you ain't gonna do nothing, but I'm not gonna watch your live with you rubbing oil on these bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like they not. She gonna be like, I don't want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? I know you ain't gonna do nothing, but I don't want to look at it.
Well,
So
one of the things that that I frequently was met with was the fact that it would be something like, yeah, you stupid now, huh? I'm like, what you mean? Oh, you mean to tell me that you can't tell that she wants you? I'm like, nah, I cannot. You know what I mean? It'd be
yep,
something like that. Like you're like, I can't win. So one thing that ended up happening was they needed a memory card for something. So I just gave them a memory card. And then the whole time it had the whole unedited version of the photo shoot. So it was all video, all
yeah,
audio, right? So I didn't know this, but they would just come to me here and there because this video footage like hour long. They'd come to me here and there, dropping little quotes from the video. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So then it finally came out and it was like, yeah, like I watched this whole video. You ain't know I had the raw footage of it, and I was clean. She's like, yeah, but she was getting too close to you and looking at you a certain way, and I'm like, but what I say, and like I was clean, I ain't had nothing on me, couldn't touch your
Yep.
boy. But
Yep.
I still, even though I was innocent, I was still guilty.
Yeah, and it be like that. And I mean, that's got to come back to insecurities, to be quite frank, because it's like I've definitely dated people to where they've had some insecurities where they'd be like, yeah, that girl was flirting with you, this, that, and the other, that makes me uncomfortable, or I'm a naturally flirtatious person just in general. Like I definitely will say things flirting, but to me it's just fun. Like it's just fun. Like I'm not doing it because like I'm really trying
Oh,
to
you
get with them. Like that's
building a
just like,
rapport with them.
yeah, it's like that's just like my demeanor, and that's just what we do. So I've definitely dated people that have been uncomfortable with that, and they're just like, yeah, I could tell she wanted you this, that, and the other, and I always would be like, yeah, but that's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like that's irrelevant. Like it takes two for something to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter what they want. Like they're not getting anything from me. Like I'm with you, I'm committed to you. Like that's irrelevant to me. It's like I might make some little sly comments just to kind of, keep things light or whatever. But I was like, that's nothing you got to worry about. And I was like, until I give you a reason to think that anything will happen, I'm like, just don't even think about it, man. Like nothing going on over here. I'll be like, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get some bomb pictures. It's like that's my objective. Like if you want to know what my objective is, like that's what it is. Like I'm trying to get some bomb pictures
Listen,
from this shoot. So if I gotta gas them up a little bit and be like, dang girl, get that, whatever. Okay, then that's what I'm gonna do just to get them bomb photos. That's it. It's like it's nothing more than that. So
that'd be my main goal. That'd be my main goal. I'd be like, look, I'm trying to get this content. I ain't worried about nothing that nobody's saying or how she looking or why she staying 2 hours later, but she said she hungry. Like I don't care nothing about that. All I'm trying to do is get these pictures.
Yeah, facts, man. That really is what it is. And the problem is there's so many photographers out there that literally get cameras just to be able to shoot girls half naked, just to be creeps. You know what I'm saying? And they make it hard
Mhm.
for photographers like us that can shoot this type of content with no hidden agendas. Like we just trying to get content. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I would say sadly we're probably more in the minority. You know what I mean? Especially even when you see like the big heavy hitter photographers, and a story breaks that they sent this text and they're like, yo, if you want to work with me, you got to send me some naked pictures of yourself. People like photographers that are big in the game that are doing this sleazy stuff. It makes us regular photographers like, there ain't no way in the world that you telling me you shooting this girl half naked and you just doing it because you want some good photographs. It's like, no,
Exactly.
you got some hidden agendas there. And it's like, no, I really don't. But it's just hard to believe that these days. So it's
That's true.
the cards are stacked against us, to be quite honest, man. And that's why a lot of females like don't even like working with male photographers anymore, because too many of them, it's like, yeah, they don't care about them pictures. Like they just try. Well, they care about them pictures, but they want you half naked. They want to try to put you in some raunchy positions just so they can have some pictures later that they can go back and do who knows what. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think like man, after you see certain things for a while, at least for me, I just become numb. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
yep,
okay.
yep.
Like, yep, seen it. What's that? What's that? Is that India Irie? Heard it all before. So look, saw it all before.
Yeah, yeah.
even girls come in and they be like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure you didn't seen this already." So and they
Yeah,
just be free. So
yeah.
same situation.
Yep. It really do be like that. I mean, I've done plenty of boudoir stuff. It's like, oh, okay, that's a titty. Like
Yeah.
I've seen them. No big deal. Like, okay, let's do this. Like it's nothing. It's like I don't care about that titty. Like I'm just trying to get these pictures. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. Yeah, we gonna make these pictures work.
yep. So yeah, that's just how it be. But man, it's dinner time for me, bro. So
Oh yeah, it was a great
I
talk. Great
I,
talk, man.
I still gotta cook it too. So that means I'm about to be eating dinner at like 9 o'clock, which is not what I wanted to do. But it's all good. Definitely good conversation. Appreciate everybody in the chat tuning in and giving y'all's feedback and stuff. So for you guys out there that's doing your channels, man, just do the best you can, man. Do the best you can. Now you might get a message from Tog saying, "Yo, where you at? I haven't
Where?
seen no
Yeah,
video
go
in a
in that
while."
video.
But don't feel no pressure. I'm only doing that because I want to be here to help motivate you and help you, reach whatever goals you have. So that's the only reason that I'll be reaching out, just to make sure, that if you just need that little push, I'm that.
Yeah,
But I know how hard it is. So trust me, I get it, man.
yeah. And if you just like, man, I ain't doing it no more, you could say that too.
Hey,
Like, yeah,
ain't
I'm
no
done, bro.
shame in
I'm
that
done.
whatsoever, man. Like if you realize that it's like, yo, I'm not cut out for this. Like that's not a bad thing, because like I said, YouTube has to be a priority. And like I said, it really is a part-time job. That is no exaggeration at all. Like when you're a one-man band, it really is a part-time job. It really is. So if you already got a
Yeah,
full-time and you got a family and all that stuff, yeah, honestly, YouTube's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like prioritize your family, being with your kids, especially with, how crazy things are going in the world right now. Like YouTube is
yeah,
insignificant. You know what I'm saying? Like please dedicate that time with your family, your kids, being out there living, achieving your dreams, doing the stuff you want to do, putting that time into your business, things that really matter. Cause at the end of the day, it's like YouTube is cool, but YouTube is insignificant in the grand scheme of things. So, please don't prioritize this when you have a lot of other things that are more important. It's just like do what you can when you can, but if you can't, that's cool, man. Don't feel bad about that at all.
yeah. I think it's the infatuation with what it could be. You know.
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot harder nowadays too. That's the problem is, there's just so many people on YouTube. Like before YouTube became a career where people were making six figures on YouTube, like you probably could grow a channel pretty daggone easy. You know what I'm saying? Because there wasn't
Hmm.
a ton of people doing YouTube stuff, but the minute people started realizing, Casey Neistat probably changed the game. I mean, he probably was one of the first people that really started making big bucks off of YouTube. Once people realized that it's like, yo, I could just record my life and live off of YouTube and have all this stuff. It was game over at that point. Now it's like
Yeah,
everybody
game
like, yo,
over.
that's what I want to do. I'm in there. I'm going YouTube. So, now it's just this game is insanely saturated. And it's hard to even be original and come through with fresh content because there's so many people on YouTube that it's like just about anything you could think of has probably been done already. There's probably videos on it already. So it's hard to even come up with something fresh to where
Yeah.
you're unique. So the struggle be real. So that's that, mid. I appreciate you kicking it with your boy. My wife's talking about starting a YouTube for my oldest daughter. Guess who they gonna ask to edit the videos? Ike, man, bruh. I tip my hat to you, boy, if you do that, man, because I'm sure you got enough on your plate
Yeah, it's gonna
already.
be another part-time job right there.
Yeah, man. Like, but I don't know, man. You probably somewhat of a well-oiled machine with your stuff these days. I mean, you've been doing it for so long, so you probably got it all figured out. Not that it's not a time commitment still. I'm sure it still is a big time commitment, but at least you probably kind of got a system to how you do stuff, so it runs a little bit more smooth. Me, I'm over here. Every video I do, it's like my first video. I'm like, what do I need to do? Make sure my mic is on, everything good. I mean, the only thing that helps for me is that when I do my videos, I pretty much get them in one take for the most part. So it's easy to record the talking part, which can be the most challenging part sometimes. It's like if you're not good at the talking part, it could take a while to get all of your thoughts out. And then if you don't do it in one take, then you got a lot of stuff you got to chop together, which adds more work. So it's
Hmm.
easier when you get used to this and you can just kind of go through So then you at least got all of that where it's just together. So then you just having to piece in your B-roll and stuff. It definitely makes it a lot easier. But
Yeah, and not saying and you know what I'm saying.
don't be trying to get nothing started up in here. But I mean, those are things you just have to be aware of. Like I said, when I was doing my podcast, I said, you know what I'm saying, so many times. And I didn't even realize I was saying it. And then you listen back and you like, dang. I mean, I had that video that I did about the ND filter, where I was out there in the wind and I had the little counter of how many times I said, I don't remember what 2 words that I kept saying, but I had the counter, and I actually just got a comment on that. And the guy was like, I couldn't even watch the video because of the pop-ups and the dings that you put in it. I clicked off of it. And I was like, you right. It's like prime example. Like when I look at that video,
Yeah,
in today's time, I wouldn't do that because that was distracting. Like the whole video, every time I said these 2 words, I got a little pop up and a ding. Yeah, that's annoying. People are not
yeah,
going to want to watch that. So I wouldn't do that now. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, you're right. That was a stupid thing that I put in there. And I wouldn't do that today, So it's like you live and you learn.
yeah.
So
Facts.
cool. All right, man. Well, we appreciate y'all. And we'll be back live again next time. We'll go live on your channel, and then we also need to try out that live switch thing. We need to see. I don't think we'll be able to do it from this though. Probably can't do it from StreamYard. That little switch over thing that feature that they brought out.
Oh, where you can get
Yeah, I
your
imagine
audience to
I
chime in.
imagine we probably could only do that from like just the YouTube app.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all, man. Tog out. T-Mid, peace. I'll talk to you.
All right. Peace.